Hey guys, how's it going? Ryan here, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be talking about am I happy in Slovakia? So it'll be a bit of a walk and talk down the river. I've managed to create some time this morning. It's just about still morning. I've done some Sunday dinner, some Sunday roast preparation, some potatoes, vegetables and meat. So it's all cooking nicely now. So I've got a little bit of a window where I can make a video and do a bit of a walk and talk update. So come and join me. I'll open up about how I'm thinking and how I'm feeling about living in Slovakia. See ya. Lovely day here. Quite mild this morning. As I said, a little bit of freak weather. So here it is. So this is a nice view. And it's usually where I come to get a bit of headspace really. And I can download from the date. It's nice and open, quiet, and really not many people around at all. So, let's just get this camera angle right. I think it's following me. Yeah, we've got it. I've had to put the shades on. Even though the sun's behind me, just it's a little bit bright, a little bit hazy, just to protect my eyes a little bit. So, main topic, am I happy in Slovakia? Yeah, I am. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy. See you in the next one. Am I happy? How are we measuring happiness? Let's talk about environment, maybe. Smaller place, cleaner place, definitely less busy. I'd say more of a positive and healthy environment. I mean, this is me coming outside as a foreigner, I guess. You know, I think native people will certainly have different opinions, but that would be the same if it was me, for example, with the UK, England. But in my circumstance, I'm definitely a lot healthier. I don't do hardly any of the bad habits that I used to do back home in the UK. Don't drink as much alcohol, eat way less fast food, and I've just got this on my doorstep. This nature, so I want to see this, and this is what I've got. So definitely a healthier environment, and I think when you're healthier, you become happier. Definitely. Have a young family, partner, they're happy. We enjoy going out for walks and stuff in the nature. There's so much of it. It's you're kind of spoilt for choice, really. I think compared to the UK, things like this would be commercialised. You know, they'd have a ring around it, like a fence, and they'd start charging people. They get a hot dog stand there, charge you 5, 6, 7 euros, for example, or pounds for some food and a Coke or something. It's just got to be a little bit careful. There's some runners coming in the background. So yeah, it's you have a lot more option, and I think that makes me happier as well, knowing that there's more to do. So. And it's cheap or it's free, yeah. So I mentioned some runners, and I come running down here as well too. I like it down here because it's flat. So to one of the points, it's like 1.5k, and then back it's another 1.5k, obviously. So that's a 3k run, and that usually takes me half an hour. So, and that's all right to get the heart pumping and the body sweating a little bit and to wake up. Although I haven't been for a run for over a week now. I've just been doing really weights and stuff, and a little bit of cardio in the gym. Yeah, so healthier lifestyle, definitely 100%. What about work? I mean, I'm working. I'm quite happy and grateful for the position that I'm working in. It enables me to provide for myself and my family, so that's really important. And it's also sort of it's in my sort of field of experience as well. I don't want to go too much in mentioning companies and stuff and businesses. It's nothing to do with them, this channel, and me. So I guess kind of, yeah, lucky and grateful, happy enough, definitely. I've had to kind of restart myself, leaving the UK. Being a British national, it's kind of ingrained in that society and kind of used to everything, yeah. And yes, there's more option in the UK, as in jobs and opportunities, because there's a bigger job market, yeah. It's not really the same here because population is 10 times smaller. Is that even the right way to say it? I don't know, but you get what I mean. The UK is like 10 times bigger than the Slovak population. So with that, naturally, you have more opportunities. Job market will be bigger, etc. Can I complain? No. I'm working, I'm grateful. I think I've gained enough experience in the field that I'm in. And that's not just that, that's just like sort of, can you say professionally? I don't know. I don't know. But that's just kind of what I've always done for the past however long now, 15 years or something. And also bits on the side, I've got hobbies and stuff. Quite like sport, always been into my football. You can play here, they have like a 4G pitch, I think it's 4G, and they have a weekly kickabout. I turned up for one appearance. The fat Ronaldo come out of retirement for one appearance, and then I retired again. But yeah, there's options. And what you'll see here as well, when you're driving around the villages and like the main roads, sorry, this camera keeps rotating, I'm trying to keep it still, is you'll just see these random 4G pitches like in between these villages. So that's pretty cool. You don't really see that in the UK. You'll have like dedicated parks with this equipment. So yeah, they'll be inset in like purpose playing fields or facilities, But yeah, driving around some of the villages and you see these random little small pitches, it's pretty cool. So also living here, less distraction, definitely less distractions, which is a good thing, because living and working in somewhere like the UK, it's just distraction, and that can be anything. I think just generally being around more people is a distraction. It's more stress. You really don't seem to have that much time when you're working and living in a rat race country, especially somewhere like the UK. And when it gets to the weekend or Friday evening, when you're absolutely bollocksed, it normally takes you a morning or an afternoon to get over it, and by that time it's kind of too late to do anything. So there's the runner again, fair play to him. You also see a lot of that here, like a lot of people out running, sort of older people as well, and you see a lot of the babichkas riding their bikes, like some old style bikes here. It's quite cool that they get out and they're still active, So that's really good to see. You don't really see that in the UK.
But that's quite cool, like old village babichkas. So that's cool. Yeah, what was I talking about? Rat race. It's yeah, a bit more stressful, and trying to recover and stuff, and there's loads of distractions, and then what do you end up doing? You're falling in a trap. Order a takeaway on a Friday night, get a few beers in, and then you might be a bit groggy on the Saturday morning, taking ages. What you do? Oh, you better get out of the house, do something. Let's go shopping. Yeah, let's go make yourself feel better, get some endorphins going, and then you just end up buying shite that you don't need. One thing I've got better at, way better, and I've never really been that bad at it. I mean, I think everybody's spent their money on some crap at some point in their life when they're younger. But from a certain age, I've always been pretty good. I mean, I've had my moments when I've been younger, but everybody's guilty. I think twice, 3, 4 times now before actually buying something, and I end up most of the time just talking myself out of it. Do I need it? No. It'll just, you know, like a piece of clothing, it'll just sit in a wardrobe. I've still got jackets from like 5 years ago that I've worn once, maybe twice, and they've cost quite a bit of money. Because at the time it's been impulsive, I've liked it, I've tried it on and said, yeah, I must have it. So I'm definitely not as impulsive like that anymore. Yeah, so all round, it's positive really. I have this to walk around, and I come down here quite a lot. Bit of a de-stress. Just gather my thoughts, stretch my legs, get some fresh air, and it's nice. It's peaceful. And when you can go to places in a city, but they're few and far between, you know, when you're actually trying to get a peaceful place where there's not many people. But here you're spoiled for choice. So healthier, less stressed, more places, more open, free, natural landscape to visit. It's not really commercialised, although, you know, some places are, like Tatry, High Tatras, although it's not particularly my thing, if I'm honest. I'm not too bothered about it. But yeah, I mean, look, everybody's got to make their money, right? And if there's a market there and people want to visit, and you can provide accommodation and food and services and stuff, then why not? You know, people, you know, if you build it, people will come, right? So you're just supplying a service to the demand. So it's how it works. And what about, so yeah, healthier, more positive, less stressed. Anything else? Does that make me happier? I think it does if we're measuring it like that. I think it does. I've definitely slowed down a little bit more. I mean, because I don't feel as rushed to do stuff. Like outside of work, I mean, you know, work's always got their challenges and stuff, but that's normal. Work's work, and that's the same for everybody. But yeah, outside it's and also being here, it's kind of like humbled me a little bit, if I'm honest. Getting a bit deep there. And just sort of like open my eyes to not a complete different way of living, but how some other people live, you know. I was very naive when I was first coming over in sort of 2017-ish. I was like, wow, you know, I didn't really exactly know where the place was on the map. Heard of the place because I've never been too shabby with geography. But yeah, it's only really till I started coming here I was like, wow, this is like, it's almost like a place where time forgot, you know. But and it kind of is in some aspects, you know, especially like living in villages and stuff and what you can see around. But I think most people are happy with simple lives, you know. But you've got, if you want mad rush and, you know, if you want to live in that busy lifestyle, you can go to the cities. It's available. You can go to Bratislava, you can go to, or on the border of Austria with Vienna. It's not far, it's within reach. Or Košice, for example, Žilina. These are sort of the bigger towns or bigger cities in Slovakia. But quite happy where we are. I was born and bred in the city, so, you know, I've always been surrounded by people, buildings, noise. You know, it's only really, really quiet at a certain time early in the morning, so. But here, you know, especially sort of coming into winter, it'll be cold, it'll be dark, but it'll be nice, it'll be peaceful. And then I've already started to smell like the wood fires going in the village, you know, the smell coming from the chimneys, and that's nice. So, but yeah, it's lovely. I can't believe how warm it is today. It's absolutely lovely. So I think you could tell, and probably agree, the reason why I like coming down here. Because what a view. And what would I say to anyone from the UK if they were thinking about coming? Just go for it. I mean, my situation was completely different to, say, somebody else who's just thinking of coming and just starting. So my partner is Slovak, so that's obviously helped me out loads. But just go for it. I mean, I have had trouble with like the admin side of things, like the documents, like the immigration stuff, and that it's not very clear cut, and the systems are pretty crap, to be fair. They never seem to be working. The responses are not great. It's not pointing out an individual at all, but yeah, it's not perfect here with things like that, yeah, but where is perfect? But a question I get a lot of the time when I meet like new people is, why Slovakia out of all the places? And then, you know, when I tell them the reason why, there's like, okay, yeah, I understand. But then I guess I'd kind of get it if I was just on my own. Why have I picked here? Maybe. But that's the main reason. But yeah, it's a way more chilled out place, except for Bratislava. Even in the day, in the afternoon, it is crazy busy. And people are lunatic. Well, people are lunatics on the road at the best of times, but if you go to Bratislava, take your helmet. It's crazy. And also what I like here, it's Sunday, and a lot of people are still quite religious. You know, I don't think like heavily, but they still visit the church, they do their masses. So it's a Catholic country. So I was baptized a Christian. So I've never really understood the complete differences, to be honest, between Christianity and Catholicism or something. I don't know how to say that word, or being a Catholic, because I kind of just associate it as the same thing. One of the other, you know, it's or one of the other. I know there's differences, so I know people will tell me what's right and wrong. I'm not an expert in it, don't pretend to be, and that's why I don't really comment on it. So, and I used to go to Sunday school. I used to with my mum. My mum was quite heavily involved with, I say heavily involved, she was quite active, that's probably a better word, with our local churches, and she was part of a Methodist group, which I think are a bit more flexible to their followings and their beliefs, instead of being absolutely black and white to the book and I guess the Sabbath or something. I don't know, maybe I'm talking waffle now, but it seemed like a bit more of a flexible approach. I reckon that's a good way to sum that up. So, but you'll see that here, and it's quite nice to see on the Sundays people getting ready and making an effort and going to church. Sort of thought about doing it, but I won't understand anything what the priest or father, I won't understand what he'll be saying. So, but it's quite nice. It's quite nice. I like to see it. It's quite It's quite wholesome. And also it's just been All Souls Day here in Slovakia, and I also think most Slavic countries, they celebrate it. Well, it's not a celebration, it's like an event, a calendar event, yeah. And it is really based around what we know in the Western world. It would be Halloween, but Halloween hasn't lasted for years. I think there was a different meaning behind it. I think it was very similar to like a Remembrance Day. Yeah, so I genuinely do. It's only been recent history where it's become commercialised as Halloween, but this has really this is one thing that's definitely opened my eyes and humbled me a bit. So the first years when I was travelling over here, I never really knew what it was, but I'd seen it a few times. And when you're driving through some of the villages at night, if you're on like a high point of road, you can see down a valley, you can see all the cemeteries just lit up with candles. It's beautiful, and it's just a really nice moment when you compare to thinking about how Westerners do it. It's like it's about pumpkins and buying stupid masks and filling bowls up with sweets for kids when they knock your door going trick or treat. And it's not what it's about. I mean, unfortunately, I bet there's so many youth out there that I don't just want to point out really young children, because of course they're not going to know, but even youths out there that won't really know the meaning of it. I don't fully understand the meaning of it, but I have a respect for it. So we go and visit my partner's families who are not with us anymore, and just light a candle and pay a bit of respect, and it's nice. But it also makes me think of my families that are not here anymore, my family members. So it's just a bit of a humbling, sombering moment really, and it's quite nice that they have a day to it. I know in the UK, the bank holidays, I think they've pushed most of them to the week now. So you have time off in the week, whereas here in Slovakia, they still have it on the days, on the dates, the calendar dates, so that can be a Saturday or a Sunday. So it's not really of any value to anyone where if they want to take time off work, because everything's closed, all the shops, anything, so you can't do anything with that day, and it might be the only day that you've got in the week, so you kind of have to prepare when these bank holiday days come around. But that's okay, that's just minor, and it is what it is, If you can't go one day without blooming milk or bread or whatever, it's, you need to start being grateful for what you've got, or make do with what's in the cupboards or the fridge. So yeah, things are different, but overall I'm happy. So it's coming up to, it's over a year and a half now that I've been here full time, and really settled right in, to be fair. Not any major complaints from me. And I think I look at stuff on YouTube as well, and I look at like the news outlets, which I really shouldn't. And I just, I try and keep tabs on with what's going on back home in the UK, and I don't know whether it's the media just peddling negativity, but I'd say for the past good few years now, I've sort of felt it even when I've been living there. It's been a huge demographic change. There has been a visible rise in crime. Now, who can really say what that's down to? But it definitely, I don't know, it's kind of like there's a bit of a anxious feeling there sometimes, back home in the UK. Like almost something is going to happen. I mean, you see on the news, it's like weekly, even sometimes daily now, of someone having lost their life because of someone I don't know, some person has just gone out, or a schizophrenic. It's not on, really. You know, you should feel safe in your, well, anybody should feel safe walking around their own country. Anybody. Well, not even their own country, just any country. We're all people at the end of the day. But in Slovakia, safe. Absolutely safe. Is there things that go on? Yeah, of course there is. But it's not in your face. There's also a respect for police here, which I like. Which I kind of feel that's been lost in the UK. They're almost like a laughing stock sometimes. Just going off what you see on videos and how situations pan out. Where here there is a respect for them, there is a respect for all the authority, and that's how it should be. If you see a police officer, you know, you show them respect, and that's how it should be. So I've not come across any antisocial behaviour here by teenagers or hoodies. Some people will remember that tagline, hoodies in the UK. So I've not experienced any of that here. And generally most of the youth that I've seen or spoke with, they're nice, respectable. And they all sort of like club together, help each other out, play with each other, play football and stuff. And that's nice. I like that. So, yeah, generally happy, guys. Happy we've done the move, no regrets. Still got some hard work ahead of us, but everybody's happy. In fact, my family's happy, so that's what's important to me. It makes me happy. And you just got to keep going. I don't want to stop and fester about and overthink about stuff, because that's when you really can get in a bit of a trap and a bubble with yourself. The overthinking bubble. I've been guilty of it a few times, but it doesn't get you anywhere. It's almost like you have to just kind of not think about it too much and get on with it. Yeah, and that's life. But you've got to enjoy the nice moments like this. Pan it around again. It's amazing. You know, to some people this might not be nothing, but to me, I love this. Yeah, I love this. I love the space, the open space. And I haven't even met anyone really. Been people walking past, running or on the bike. Just open fields in a valley. It's great. But I think that might wrap this up, guys. So I've got to make my way back because my Sunday roast is cooking. And there's nothing worse than a cold Sunday roast. So yeah, thanks for watching. Generally happy here. No regrets, as I said. It's chilled out, it's safe, and it's pretty positive. Now, if you were to speak to the local population, of course they were born and bred here, they'd probably have a totally different opinion. But for me, it's okay. Is it perfect? No. But it does me. It does my family. All good. Take it easy, guys. See you in the next one.